Namaste. Welcome back to my YouTube channel eEducator. Okay, and this video lectures we are going to discuss Standard 9 subject Social Science, chapter number 11. Chapter number 11 Indian Judiciary. As we discuss a textbook exercise, so same in this video we are going to discuss a textbook exercise of chapter number 11 Indian Judiciary. Standard 9, chapter number 11 Indian Judiciary. Discuss about the textbook exercise here. So while writing the answers, make sure that your handwriting must be neat and clean, and uh, uh, write the answer point wise. Pause the videos, copy down the answers with a neat handwriting. And if you have a not good handwriting, please try to improve your writing. Handwriting must be your neat and clean there. So try to improve your handwriting and write these answers the point wise while writing the answers into the exercise, sorry, into the notebook or in the exams there. Write always answer into the point wise, into the point here. Look at number. Answer the following questions in a short. Question number one. Okay, state the required qualifications for being appointed as the judge of a Supreme Court. So what we need to write? We need to write the qualifications for being appointed as a judge of a Supreme Court. Who can be appointed as a judge of a Supreme Court? We need to write here about the eligibility of a person to appoint as a judge of a Supreme Court. So for appointment as a judge of a Supreme Court, the following qualifications are essential here. Following qualifications are essential. Which are the qualifications? Okay, which are the qualifications are essential here? Look at here. One must be a citizen of India. The person who is going to be appointed must be a citizen of India. Second, he must have been a judge of a high court for a 5 years or as a 5 years experience as a judge of a high court. He must have served as an advocate in a high court for at least 10 years. Okay. Or look at, he must have been a judge of a high court for 5 years or must have served as an advocate in high court for at least 10 year, at least 10 year high court के अंदर जज high court के अंदर advocate का experience हो, और he should be a distinguished judges or a famous jurist as per the opinion of a president. These are the qualifications which are required. Okay, and should not be more than 65 years of. So 65 age is a retirement age for the judge of a Supreme Court. Second number, state the powers under the original jurisdictions of a Supreme Court. Okay, original jurisdictions of a Supreme Court. So originally जो cases Supreme Court में फाइल होते, directly जो cases Supreme Court में सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फाइल होते हैं, और सुप्रीम कोर्ट को अधिकार है उन केसेस को सॉल्व करने का, वही पावर जाता है सुप्रीम कोर्ट का. जो द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज अ पावर टू डायरेक्टली गिव अ जजमेंट after hearing a case which is not original jurisdiction of a Supreme Court. Original jurisdictions of a Supreme Court, the cases which not filed in a high court और डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट कहीं पर भी फाइल नहीं होते, वो डायरेक्टली केसेस कहाँ पर आते हैं? केसेस डायरेक्टली फाइल इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हु डायरेक्टली हर्ड द केसेस and give the judgment here. These kind of considered as the original jurisdictions of a Supreme Court here. So under this jurisdiction of a Supreme Court, settle the dispute. Which kind of disputes are involving here? Look at number one here. So the government of India and one or a more states here. So government of India and one state and or the more state. One side the government of India, central government, and other side a state, one state government or more than one state government here. Now the government of India and one more states on one side and other on or more than one, sorry. So the government of India and one or more states on one side and one or more states on the other side. Look at what is here. In that case is here the government of India, one state or more than one state. वन साइड, एक साइड के अंदर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया है, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के साथ एक स्टेट या एक से ज्यादा स्टेट है, उसके अगेंस्ट में, अगेंस्ट ऑफ दैट द वन स्टेट और मोर देन मोर देन द वन स्टेट्स आर आल्सो मीन मोर देन स्टेट्स ऑन द अदर साइड्स हियर. यानी ऑपोजिट के अंदर एक स्टेट है और एक से ज्यादा भी स्टेट है, उस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस यहाँ पर होते हैं. Fights or quarrels between two or more state, quarrels between two or more state. Now, Supreme Court has a right to give judgment concerning any set of a law passed by the union government. Okay, any set of a union government or the legislature, Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, whatever the legislature of the central government, if they pass it, and union, so that Supreme Court has a right to give judgment regarding concerning any sort of law which passed by the union government. Now, India has a power, sorry, it has a power to protect and preserve fundamental rights of the citizens of India. So, in case of violation of a fundamental rights, so it give a right to constitutional remedies, give a right to the citizens of India. You can file if you reach into the Supreme Court under the violation of a fundamental right. So, fundamental rights, so it protect the fundamental rights. Supreme Court protect the fundamental rights for Indian citizen here. Now, the court is also empowered to issue the writ of habeas corpus, mandamus, or prohibitions here. So, Supreme Court has a power to issue the writ of habeas corpus, okay, comma, here is a comma, mandamus, and order of prohibitions. Like writ भी वो order कर सकते हैं. Third number, describe matters that are out of the jurisdictions of a Supreme Court. Which are the matters are out of jurisdictions of a Supreme Court. Supreme Court के अंदर में नहीं आती उस टाइप के कौन से matters से. Now it is not in the jurisdictions of a Supreme Court. Okay, jurisdictions of a Supreme Court. Which are the matters which are not in the jurisdictions of a Supreme Court? Now, to settle the dispute related to the distribution of a water, okay, water related distribution does not come directly under the Supreme Court here. So the that dispute related to the state and state, okay, between one state and other state, okay, one side one state, उसके opposite में भी एक state हो सकता है, that kind of situations. Another, two or more states on one side and one states on the other side. Look at on the one side two or more state and opposite one state, उसके साथ में one और other उस opposite side के अंदर एक state हो सकता है. A state on one side and two or more state on the other side. Look at one side one state, or in opposite direction one state or more than one state. Two or more state on okay, one side and two or more states on the other sides here. Look at and the both side two और more state in opposite के अंदर भी two और more states भी हो सकते हैं. टेक्स्ट बुक में आप स्टेट 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 करके ऐसा एक सेंटेंस लिखा हुआ है, उसका मतलब ये होता है ओके, स्टेट स्टेट्स स्टेट्स एंड स्टेट ऐसे लिखा हुआ है आपके ओरिजिनल जुरिडिक्शंस ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट में नीचे वहां पर दिया गया है. Okay, explain the process of impeachment. How impeachment, महाभियोग बोलते हैं इसको, महाभियोग बोला जाता है. Impeachment process कैसे किया जाता है? So judges can be removed from their post and power if they are found to be guilty. Not only the judges, even the presidents can also be removed of okay, auditor general, comptroller, बहुत सारे ऐसे जो हायर पोस्ट वाले उसको रिमूव भी किया सकता है impeachment. Judges यहाँ पर लेसन जुडिशरी है तो जज वर्ड यूज किया है. So judges can be removed on the post from that post and power if they found to be guilty or incapable. If they found guilty on the post and they make kind of okay, found guilty there, or they were incapable to work, they do the misconduct and inefficiency to work there. So this is done through the impeachment motions in a parliament here. This is a certain procedure. Impeachment is a procedure where okay, judges of a Supreme Court can be removed on the post. So how procedure is carried out? How this procedure is carried out here? So under this procedure, each house of parliament has a submit to the president. Okay, the memorandum having, so each house of parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha submit one memorandum having majority support, and वो memorandum जो submit कर रहे हैं उनको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा member उसको support करते हैं. Majority member who support them, okay, total numbers of members at least 2/3 majority. 2/3 में जितने भी मेंबर प्रेजेंट है उसमें से 2/3 मेजोरिटी वाले मेंबर वो मेमोरेंडम को सपोर्ट करते होने चाहिए. दैट कैन बी प्रेजेंट okay, of members present in the respective session of Lok Sabha or respective session of Palace. Okay, the Rajya Sabha here. Based on the presentation, the judge can be removed from his post by the order of the president. Based on these presentation is carried out in the parliament here. Now in the parliament, even judges also given a chance to okay, prove them they are not guilty here. So even okay, that whatever the memorandum submission is carried out, they are heard into the parliament, and then the president, on the order of a president, this can be removed here. The parliament monitors a presentation. Who? Parliament monitors the presentations of a memorandum and conducting of investigation as well as a proof of a same here. They also, parliament also look about the proofs. They also investigate the cases. If the judges who found guilty there, even that proof are submitted in the parliament, if then the president who satisfied with the proof and investigations, then that judges can be removed on the post here. And concerned judge also given a opportunity to defend themselves. Concerned judge जिसके सामने impeachment motion लाया गया है, महाभियोग लाया गया है, that person also given to be chance and not found a guilty here, और जो भी उन्होंने to defend themselves himself in the parliament, उसके लिए भी उनको chance दिया जाता है. Then found, then remove here. Now fifth number, describe the powers of high court in the criminal cases here. Describe the powers of high court in criminal cases. हाई कोर्ट का जो पावर क्रिमिनल केसेस के अंदर क्या है? All writ petitions challenging to the judgment given by the lower court in the civil and the criminal cases can be made in the high court here. Okay. The district level civil court and criminal court अलग अलग होती है. So challenging judgment of a civil court and challenging the judgment of a criminal court can both file into the high court here. So under the appellate jurisdictions of the high court, the court hears a petition. So appellate jurisdictions, appellate, you can make appeal into the high court if you are not satisfied with the judgment of a district court here. So court hear the petitions against the criminal cases here. And in case of a session court, session court, highest criminal court at a district level, usko session court bola jata hai, has issued the judgment. Look, what kind of a cases? If the session court issue any judgment punishing the accused for more than 4 years, if accused persons, the person who is guilty, if given a punishment more than 4 years, then the petitioners can make a challenge judgment in the high court. Then petitions जो है, जो व्यक्ति गुनेगार है जिसके ऊपर 4 साल की सजा मिली है, वो जाके हाई कोर्ट के अंदर भी जाके चैलेंज कर सकता है वो. If any accused given a capital punishment means the death sentence. Capital punishment, death sentence by a session court, criminal court at a district level. In case of a murder और which less your punishment is issued by the lower court. क्योंकि lower court में उसे थोड़ी कम सजा मिली है, लेकिन डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में उसको डेथ सेंटेंस मिला है मर्डर के हिसाब से, सो वो जाके हाई कोर्ट के अंदर जा सकते हैं. देन दिस कंडीशन जजमेंट कैन बी चैलेंज इन द हाई कोर्ट. 6 number, state the required qualifications of judges of a high court here. Okay, same Supreme Court, whatever the eligibility of Supreme Court is, okay, here high court का ऐसा qualification क्या होना चाहिए? Following are the qualification for judge of a high court here. Now should be a citizen of India, common birth, okay, should have a serve as a minimum period of 10 years of any of a judicial post the lower court. कोई भी judicial post में जो judge है, जो advocate होना चाहिए post in lower court in the Indian states here. 10 year minimum, 10 year experience here, and should have at least 10 years of practice as an advocate in the high court. Otherwise for 10 years minimum 10 years practice कहाँ पर होनी चाहिए? हाई कोर्ट के अंदर. Should be a distinguished jurist, constitutional expert or famous lawmakers as per the opinions of a president. As per the opinion of president, the person is must be one of the distinguished jurist, okay, जिसके पास okay कोड का बहुत ज़्यादा ही अच्छा सा अनुभव है and कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को अच्छी तरह से वो जानता है and famous lawyer है, that can be appointed as a judge of a high court here. Should below 62 years. 62 और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में 65 years का होता है. 7 number, name the various subordinate courts. So we need to write the list the name of subordinate courts here. Only here following are the subordinate courts. Okay, district and taluka court, civil court and session court, fast track court, quota court, okay, tribunals and certain special courts are located at the local level, revenue court, labor court. Okay, these are the some various subordinate courts which functioning, okay, at a local level. Question number 2, explain the following statement. Few statements are given here. Judiciary is the foundation of a democracy. You need to explain the statement why judiciary is considered the foundation. So India is a democratic nation here. We know that India is a democratic country. As a neutral and impartial judiciary is essential for the protections and the preservation of rights of Indian citizens here. So for the protections of rights of Indian citizens, we require a neutral and impartial judiciary is here. So as a democratic country, so as a fundamental rights which given to the citizen should be protected here. So we also required the neutral and impartial judiciary which protect the rights of Indian citizen. It is essential that in the judicial process there is a no flow or delay and citizens get quick, cheap and equal justice here. So it is also essential that in the judicial process there is no flow or delay in the citizens, okay, no flow and delay in a justice, and citizens get a quick, cheap and equal justice here. So the legislature or executives do not violate any of the constitutional limitations here. So judiciary supervises legislature and executives. Also looks at the legislature and executives do not violate any constitutional constitutions here. So that we require a judiciary here. So we can say that this can be achieved only through independence, firm and impartial and fearless judiciaries here. So it's thus it can be said that judiciary is the foundation of a democracy. Second number, the Supreme Court is the protector and guardians of a constitutions and citizens' right here. Supreme Court is a guardians of rights of citizens here. So the Supreme Court is apex court of a country. Apex court means it is the topmost court of a country, highest court of a country. So to protect and preserve the fundamental rights of citizens, a firm impartial judiciary has been provided by the constitutions here. So constitution has provided a judiciary to protect the rights of citizens and to preserve the rights of citizens here. Now the Supreme Court can declare can null all such laws or decisions that violate the constitution. Such kind of laws and decisions, orders which made by the parliament, if those laws which made by the parliament, if they violate they violate the constitution, if the laws are against the constitutions here, so it has Supreme Court is a power to nullify it. Supreme Court is a power to remove it. Nullify, null to means to remove it, रद्द कर देगा, रद्द करना उसको. So this power has been vested, this power is given to the Supreme Court to protect the rights of a constitutional remedies here. Under the right to constitutional remedies, this right has been given to the Supreme Court. Even citizens, as a citizen, we can also make a writ in the Supreme Court for the protection of a fundamental right. Thus, it can be said the Supreme Court is a guardian of a fundamental rights of citizens. Third number, the High Court occupies a key positions here. It's important positions at the state level here. The High Court is apex court at the state level. High Court is considered apex, topmost court at the state level. High Court holds one of the key positions in the constitutions, hierarchical pyramids in Indian judiciary. We have pyramidal judiciary systems. Topmost Supreme Court and the Supreme Court, High Court to the under the High Court. We have different under the High Court. We have different district courts are functioning there. So hierarchical systems is one of the important positions here. The Constitution provides one High Court for every state, and however, the President has a power to form one High Court for two or more states. Generally, okay, Constitution provides to have the High Courts of more than one state. Even President can also form the one High Court between two states, two or more states also. The subordinate courts such as a district court, taluka court functions under the supervisions of a High Court. So district court, taluka, some special courts are there. The subordinate courts functions under the district court. Hence, it can be said that High Court occupies a key position. Fourth number, Lok Adalats have become a center of attractions. Okay, Lok Adalat become a center of attraction. So Lok Adalats provide speedy and economical justice to the poor, weak and exploited sections of the societies here. So Lok Adalats, they provide speedy and economical justice to the poor, weak and exploited sections of society. It provides free support and guidance to the legal aid service center. Through the legal aid service center, it provides guidance to the people regarding the laws, regarding the court related guidance is provided here. Now, Lok Adalats functions voluntarily even Sundays and holidays for the convenience of our petitioners. For the petitioner convenience, they also may functions on a holidays even on a Sunday here. And varieties of cases related to accident, and look what kind of cases are fine. Accident related compensation, divorce, alimony, general debts, etc. heard in these Lok Adalat. Various kind of cases are heard here. Now, Lok Adalat consists of advocates, social workers, educationists, police officers, insurance officers, judges whose valuable experience is put in the work here. To solve the cases in Lok Adalat, various experienced person, retired judges also, advocates are also be presented here. Now, in cases are settled amicably, such both our parties are satisfied. Here, in this, okay, Lok Adalat, none of the party who won or lose the cases are solved amicably here, and both the parties are satisfied. जिस party को satisfy करे इस हिसाब से problem को यहाँ पर solve किया जाता है. They are save, okay, they save times and money of a court. Means Lok Adalat save the times and money of a court. So the judgment are backed by the law. The judgment are backed by the law. If you are not satisfied with judgment of Lok Adalat, you move forward. You can make them challenge into the court here. Therefore, Lok Adalats have become a center of attraction. Fifth number, the functions of a judiciary is a boon in case of a negligence by the legislature and executives here. So negligence of a executive, अगर legislature and executives वो काम नहीं करते, ये judiciary एक वरदान है हमारे लिए. So protection and preservation of the fundamental rights of a citizen guaranteed by the constitution is essential. Okay, it is essential that constitution give us a right, constitution provide us a fundamental rights. These fundamental rights are protected by the Supreme Court here. Now, at the same time, a firm impartial judiciary is required in case of a dispute regarding the distributions of workload between center and. So, if we require a impartial judiciary system, if is the cases why we required, and in the distributions of distribution of workload between center and state, or any confusion conflict between central government and state government, so that Supreme Court can supervise it among the different states here. Now, but sometimes the legislature and the judiciary acts and responsible manner. Sometimes what legislature and judiciary, legislature and the judiciary acts in the responsible manner here. So under such circumstances, independent firms and impartial and fearless judiciary ensure that legislature or executives do not violate here. Look at it. Sorry, ये legislature and judiciary नहीं आएगा, executives आएगा यहाँ पर. Okay. Okay, so यहाँ पर judiciary नहीं आएगा, यहाँ पर executives आएगा. If a legislatures and executives acts responsible, at the time judiciary is required here. So ये judiciary executive आएगा. Under the circumstances, independent firm, impartial, fearless judiciary to ensure that legislature or executives do not violate any of our constitutional limitations here. Sixth number, the Supreme Court is considered as a court of records here. So court of records store the judgment and decisions of a Supreme Court. Court of records means whatever the judgment made by the Supreme Court are preserved here. They are stored here. Decisions of a Supreme Court are stored here. They are recorded. All the citation in the Supreme Court, judgment of Supreme Courts are recorded and they are stored and well preserved here. These judgment and decisions are considered as a permanent documents, and all are bound to accept here. Okay, all these judgments which are made in a Supreme Court are permanent document, and all the subordinate courts and all citizens in the country, they are bound to accept it. So they are used to reference by the subordinate courts while giving a judgment in a decision. Okay, these are judgment are used as a references while making a judgment in a subordinate court. Subordinate means high court or any district court. These cases are used as a the references here. Any court showing its contempt or disapproval can be punished. Any court showing contempt or not, contempt means not following the judgment of a Supreme Court or disapprove, that can be punished here. The Supreme Court is considered as a court of records. 7 number, the judges of a Supreme Court cannot practice a law in any of a courts after retirement here. So the provision regarding the terms and conditions for the appointment, service and retirement of a judges have been made in the constitution. So in a constitution has been made there. What is the okay the term periods of judges of a court, judges of a Supreme Court, their service and retirements has been mentioned in the constitution here. So according to the judges of a Supreme Court, retire at the 65, retirement age for the 65 year for the judge of a Supreme Court. So after retirement, they cannot practice a law in any of Indian courts. So they cannot make laws any Indian courts here as per the constitution. However, they provide their servicing and committees appointed to the investigation into the uncommon situation or event. So when kind of committees are formed to investigate various cases, if they require the help, so these retired judges can be appointed in that committee. Third number, write a short note. Short note is number one, independence of judiciary. So the Indian constitution has kept the judiciary independent and firm and fearless from the legislature and executives for the protections of the fundamental rights of citizens and providing impartial justice here. So independence constitution has provided us a fearless and independent judiciary. So that fearless and neutral judiciary which provides us impartial justice. So judiciary should not be inclined or biased toward the government, should not be influenced by the legislature, should not be influenced by the executives here, should not incline, it should not be biased, should not make a partialities on the towards the government here, should be independent and impartial here. And the terms and condition for the appointment of a judges, okay, terms and condition for appointment of judges and the appointment process of a judges, pay scale, transfer of a judges, promotion for the judges, retirement have been provided for the constitution and can be changed here. No one can change whatever there. That has been clearly mentioned in the constitution. Eligibility for appointment, retirement, pay scale has been mentioned. It can be changed. वो change legislature या executive नहीं कर सकते. So the judges are appointed for the specific period of a time, specific times limits तक वो appoint किए जाते हैं, and the executives cannot remove any of a judges due to their will or any political pressures here. So executives cannot remove any judge, okay, will or political pressure से वो remove नहीं कर सकते. If they want to remove, certain procedures are there, impeachment process are there, should be for if they found a guilty, then can be removed, otherwise cannot be removed. So the purpose is to empower the judges to perform their duties fearlessly, honestly, self-reliantly, independently and firmly, so that judges can impart true, transparent and quick justice. Second number, appellate jurisdictions of High Court, jurisdictions of High Court, okay, appellate jurisdictions of High Court. Here, look at under the appellate jurisdictions of the High Court, the court hears the petitions against civil and the criminal cases here. So in a High Court, the appeal which made from the criminal courts and civil court from the district level can be here. Now any petition challenging the judgment of lower courts and tribunals can be made in the High Court. So any challenging petition challenging the lower court, High Court में आप जा सकते हो. In case of Session Court has issued judgment punishing the accused for more than 4 years, and the petition can challenge judgment into the High Court. Okay, petition can challenge if the court more than 4 years, so can be challenged into the High Court. If any accused is given a capital punishment by a Session Court in a case of a murder or in which less severe punishment is issued, as we discussed those things, court, then such condition judgment can be challenged in the High Court. This can be challenged into the High Court. So petitions who is unsatisfied with the judgment of tribunals can also approach to the High Court. Petitioners, those who are unsatisfied with judgment, जो judgment से satisfy नहीं है, वो भी वहाँ पर High Court में जा सकते हैं. Third number, Court of Records. Okay, Court of Records here. Same, Supreme Court is also considered a Court of Records. जो ऐसे दिखा था. So judgment and decisions of different courts are considered as a permanent document, especially Supreme Court and High Court. The Supreme Court as well as the High Courts publish their judgments, the decisions in organized form. All are bound to accept here. So judgment of a Supreme Court are being accepted by all the courts. Same the judgment of a High Court are followed by the subordinate courts of these High Court. The lawyers use these published judgments and decisions as citations while pleading their cases here. These judgments, so lawyers, advocates use the published judgment by the Supreme Court, High Court as the citations in the citation while pleading the case into the court. They are used references by subordinate courts while giving a judgment and decisions here. They are also used as a references by the subordinate court while making a judgment. Anyone showing its contempt or disapproval can be punished here. Anyone showing a contempt, if someone who do not follow, if they disapprove that, it can be punished. Fourth number, Lok Adalat and public interest litigation PLI. Sorry, PIL, okay, public interest litigation PIL, PIL. Okay, sorry. Now, Lok Adalats have been set up to provide a speedy and economic justice, as we discussed about previously for Lok Adalat, and poor, weak, exploited section of societies here. So they functions voluntarily even on Sundays, holidays for the convenience of additional cases of accidents and its related compensation, divorce, alimony, general debts, personal complaints, police complaints, etc. are heard and settled amicably in the both our parties are satisfied here. So the cases are settled. No one the party who win or lose the cases, they satisfied. Okay, the parties are satisfied in the way they solve the cases here. So they save the time and money of a different courts. Expertise of advocates, social expertise of advocates, social worker, educationists, police officer, insurance officer, judges are available to the common man here. So all the judgments of a Lok Adalats are backed by the law. All the judgment of a Lok Adalats are backed by law here. Therefore, the Lok Adalats have become a center of attraction. So we can say Lok Adalat become a center of attraction. The Supreme Court has also opened a new chapters on the public interest litigations of the public on the behalf of a public. So if they face a problem, PL can made in the court here, Supreme Court here. So under this system, complaints are registered on the receipt of a postcard. Any individual citizen can send PL on the postcard or an applications necessary order or passed by the Supreme Court. So आराम से वो PIL send कर सकते postcard through the applications here. Any citizen of India can register the complaints with the Supreme Court or on any questions affecting the common interest of the people. So if any laws which made by the parliament here and they are affecting the common people, they are affecting common citizens here. So any citizens can file a complaint. They can make a PIL in the interest of a public. They file PIL into the Supreme Court. Subordinate courts. So under this guidance and supervision of a high courts of any state, there are subordinate courts such as the district taluka court, fast track court, puta court, tribunal, certain special courts working here. Each state each state is divided into district concerning a civil code and criminal codes. So district level we found a civil and criminal code are different. Also we have the revenue code at district level here. So judges who handle the civil issues is called the district judge. So the district level district court and civil court both are the different. डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पर सिविल केसेस के लिए अलग कोर्ट रहता है, डिस्ट्रिक्ट ओके डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पर क्रिमिनल के लिए अलग रहता है. हाई कोर्ट में दोनों सभी केस वहां पर हाई कोर्ट एक ही होता है वहां पर. हाई कोर्ट क्रिमिनल और सिविल के अलग अलग नहीं है. डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल के सिविल सूट जो सिविल केसेस जो हैंडल करता है उसको डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज बोला जाता है. एंड दैट जज हु हैंडल द क्रिमिनल केसेस को हैंडल करता है उसको सेशन जज, और क्रिमिनल कोर्ट को सेशन कोर्ट भी बोला जाता है. इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज अ सेशन कोर्ट. Judge of the district court has the power to try the cases of kind of a district judge. District judge means civil cases of marriage, divorce, alimony, reform, and the case of parental custodies here. Now the criminal courts include a session court. Session court is the highest criminal court. Session court is the highest criminal court at the district level. Under this, there are number of other session code also function, other criminal code are functioning here. So including session code, first class judicial magistrate code, second class judicial magistrate code, Mamladar executive magistrate code, they are functioning under the session code at a local level. Now these courts have a power to give a punishment of imprisonment ranging 3 to 10 years of and a penalty up to rupees 5,000 or more. In case of a murder, the court can give a capital punishment. Capital means death sentence, lifetime imprisonment, and a life sentences can also be made here. So for the case of pertaining to the land revenue, there is a revenue court here. So revenue के लिए revenue court भी वहाँ पर है. Now for the disputes of labors, there is a labor court along with the other tribunals. Some tribunals are working like a labor के लिए labor court काम करता है. Labor tribunals are here. Even there is a tribunal for compensations, compensating vehicles accident, for recovering debts, etc. There are number of other tribunals are working here for the protections of a consumer rights protection forums. Yes, a tribunals has been set up here. So these are considered subordinate courts. Okay, MCQ, the retirement age for judges of a Supreme Court and High Court. So Supreme Court and High Court retirement age for the Supreme Court. Supreme Court 65 है, High Court का 62 आता है. So 65 and 62 आना चाहिए. So 65, 62. D option is correct. How many years of experience as a lawyer is required to appoint a district judge here? So how many years of experience is as a lawyers of required here to be appointed a district judge? So 7 years of experience is required there. Okay, D and B here. In which state is the High Court of Mizoram and Tripura situated? In Assam here. So the headquarters of a legal aid service center is situated at Ahmedabad. These are the correct answer here. So first B, second B, third C, fourth C here. Fifth number, who appoints the judges of a Supreme Court? Who appoints the judges of Supreme Court? President appoints the judges of a Supreme Court. Now, which organization has been formed to settle complaints of a consumer? So it's set up as a consumer forum is set up there. Fifth B and sixth number. Okay, C is the correct answer. So this is the exercise of a lesson number 11. Hope you like these videos. So still, if you have not subscribed a channel, click on a subscribe button to subscribe a channels. Okay, and share with your friends. If you have any query, you can send me in a comments here. Remaining videos will be uploaded very shortly. Okay, so stay tuned with this YouTube channel. Share with your friends. If you have any queries regarding these answers, so you can send me in this comment box. Thank you.